Welcome, and in this video I'll be explaining all the electronics in the game as of now. So here we have the logic gates. So to start off with, we have the OR gate. So one or both inputs must be powered and you will receive an output. The NOT gate is just an inverse gate, so once the input's powered there is no output. If there's no input, then there is an output. AND gate, both inputs must be powered to receive an output. The XOR gate, only one input can be powered, otherwise you won't get an output. Now moving on to the electronics, we have the repeat gate. So this just repeats whatever signal has been put in to the amount of seconds that are on this screen. So it repeats every second and turns off every second. Toggle, just a switch toggle. So there's one input, two outputs. Once that input's powered, it switches between both outputs. Blink turns any signal, no matter what it is, into a very short blink output. And now we have a latch. So any input, whether it be a quick input like a button, it'll say a solid output on one of these two ports. Now we have a lock, which is pretty cool. So this left input here controls the output, and this right one here is the lock. So now once that's powered, you can't unlock it. So that signal will constantly be powered until this is turned off, and then you can release it. Now we have a delay. So there's a 2-second delay from the input, and once I turn it off, there's a 2-second delay before it turns off. Now when I change the modes, this mode is an inverse mode, so when it's on, that should turn off after 2 seconds. No. What's this do? Okay, so the input goes straight through, but once you've turned it off, there's a 2-second delay before that output goes away. So that could be useful with buttons. And this mode is the opposite of that, so there's a delay for the input, but once the output's off, it goes away straight away. Now we have all the switches and buttons. So pressure plate, very simple. Put pressure on it. It can be items or players, even your car, and it will trigger that output. This is a public lever and button, so anyone on your plot will be able to press these, and then these are just your normal ones. Now these are pretty cool, the adaptive button and input. This allows you to put signals or buttons through walls. It can be a max of 3 walls. So once you power it from this side, you'll get the output over here. And the garage, the shutter door, they're much smaller from the original game, but there's no bottom part, so you can put these side by side together. Digital sign, just power it from the back and it displays text. You can change the text. Toll gate, just power that, opens. The emergency light. For some reason, my double button don't work. I'm not sure if that's a me issue or it's just broken right now. But this is just a switch. It's a much smaller version of the lever. Basically does the same thing. And just a smaller version of the button as well. Now the lights. They all seem to be the same brightness, but obviously they come in different sizes. So this one's a sphere lamp, dot light, and then a small dot light. But again, they're all the same brightness for some reason. And here we have the displays. These boxes got blown up by the lightning. Do not leave any loose items out, because if it does thunder and the lightning strikes it, it'll just destroy it. So at the back here, you have all the input ports. So for the regular 7-segment display, you have these numbers at the back. Once you power those, it shows that. And if you, so for example, I've powered 2. If I also power 1, it'll add 2 and 1 and just make it 3. And these are just straightforward. Whatever segment you power up at the back here, it displays it on the other side. One other thing I forgot to mention is the wires are much different from Refinery Caves 1. Now there is no actual, you can't buy the wires anymore, they're just there. So when you hover over an output, you can add the cable, and it can be as long as you want, as long as it doesn't exceed 10 points. Let's see. And to connect it to stuff, for example, I'll just connect it to this light over here. You hover over the output, no, yeah, and then you'll see the F to confirm, and then that just connects it like that. So now once I power this, it should power that. Yeah. And if you want to change that, you can use the building tool to move it around. If you want to get rid of it, you can also use the building tool.